In Antarctica, Ian is keeping a check on his penguin friends. He loves that Juan has got some new moves and that Lola has found a mate. He gets distracted when his phone falls off and might be destroyed. When he hears something, he gets scared and shouts out to Lola. In America, Emma brings her best friend Kat on a date with a guy from an app. The guy is missing and hasn't even replied to her messages. Since he's online, Emma assumes he's talking to one of his other matches. She doesn't think anyone can focus with so many options online. Kat points at two people on a date who seem to be having a good time. Emma has noticed them swiping their phones as soon as one of them leaves the seat. She hates online dating and decides to write an angry message to the guy who ghosted her. When he blocks her, Emma wonders why she can't meet someone at work. Kat reminds Emma that she's a courtroom artist. Her options are mostly lawyers or criminals. She knows Emma will find her person soon, and it's not her ex, Mark. Emma wishes she could move somewhere remote to keep things simple. She gets a call from her dad from Antarctica right then. She can't hear him clearly, but learns something about the ice sheet breaking. She hears the words danger and killer whales and gets very scared for him. She also hears him asking for help. After contacting the base, Emma learns that Ian's satellite phone isn't connecting. No one has seen him in weeks, and she's worried about his chest pains. He's obsessed with penguins and even named Juan after her birthday. She's worried about him being alone and wonders if she can join a research team headed there. She finds out about one team leaving Buenos Aires the following day. She packs in a hurry and decides to book a ticket till then. Kat knows she needs permission from the embassy to set foot in Antarctica. Emma plans to figure that out later. On the cruise ship, Emma approaches the chief officer, Ingrid. She explains how her dad is a researcher who studies emperor penguins. She's worried about him being in trouble and offers to buy a ticket without a permit. She begs Ingrid to make an exception for her, but she can't allow her to board the ship for her safety. Ingrid still offers to take her card so she can let her know if they find something. Emma walks towards the back but hears someone from the research team discussing a magnetometer. She puts on her coat and takes a researcher's bag to blend in. Andy, a mechanical engineer from the team, wonders if he has seen Emma before. He never forgets a face, so Emma pretends she's an engineer too. He asks her to board in a hurry so he can check on the magnetometer. She slips in with the team and becomes a stowaway. With 10 days to Antarctica, Emma grabs some food so she can eat it in her hideout. Andy runs into her and wonders why she didn't join them for dinner at the captain's table. He's excited about a place they found for work and takes her food there. Andy introduces her to the research team and asks her to fix the magnetometer. Emma pretends to know how to assemble it but sneaks out when Andy gets distracted. Andy follows her outside to find out what's wrong. Emma admits that she's an illustrator and not an engineer. She shares that she boarded the ship without permission to get to her dad. Andy doesn't want to be her co-conspirator and knows she can get into trouble without a permit. He wants to tell Ingrid about her, but Emma knows he can get into trouble for letting her in. As Ingrid and her deputy Martin come their way, Andy hides Emma. He agrees to help her because of her dad and brings her to his room. He asks her to lay low, but Emma needs his help to track Ian. He knows someone at the base and gives her some official clothes to take her outside. When he calls Peg at the base, Emma snatches the phone and asks about her dad. Peg knows Ian and how obsessed he is with penguins. When she learns that he might be in trouble, she agrees to send a team to check on him. Before Emma can give her a phone number, Andy snatches the phone when Ingrid walks in. Emma tries to hide her face while Ingrid gets distracted by Andy. She clearly has a crush on him and wonders what he's doing. He makes up a story about letting the base know of their whereabouts. He offers to show her some equipment, so she asks Martin to make her calls. Back in the room, Andy assures Emma that he will take any message from base about her dad. Emma knows the penguins are Ian's second family after she lost her mother when she was 10. Andy's family is in Florida, but he loves being in Antarctica. He feels like he's making a difference when he builds equipment to get data to protect it. He knows that if his dad were stuck, he would do anything to help him too. The next morning, Andy gets breakfast for her in the room and informs her about Marmaduke, a seal he once named. He keeps bringing her food and they spend a lot of time discussing their likes and dislikes. Emma has always wanted to be an illustrator, so Andy brings a sketch pad and pens for her. When the announcement is made about them passing the Patagonia coastline, Emma steps out wearing a hat. Andy reminds her that she can't be seen, but Emma feels claustrophobic in that one cabin. Andy has heard back from Peg, who sent out a crew to Ian's cabin. It's apparently normal for him to venture out for days without informing everyone. Emma knows that, but she can't stop worrying till she finds him. Emma hides her face from Martin when he comes to check on Andy. She claims to be a foreign passenger and speaks in a fake accent. Emma can't go back to the cabin yet and promises to find a way to blend in. She wears a uniform of Rick's and knows she can pretend to be Ricky for a while. When a passenger named Gloria asks about a bracelet she left in the spa, Emma is more than happy to get it for her. Emma turns up in the same room where Ingrid has booked a session. She hides her face and informs Ingrid that she's not her massage therapist. Something about her voice sounds familiar, so Ingrid takes Emma's card out. When she also hears Emma's penguin ringtone from before, she's even more suspicious and runs after her. Emma quickly returns Gloria's bracelet and keeps running away. The captain calls the crew to the bridge, so Ingrid is forced to stop her search and get back. Emma gets stuck in the room when a trolley blocks the door because of the turbulence. Ingrid asks Martin to keep an eye out for the passenger who wanted to board without a permit. She also knows that Emma might have disguised herself as the crew. Andy hears Martin giving her description to Gloria so she can alert them. He also asks Andy to stay alert to any suspicious activity. Emma makes an announcement asking passenger Marmaduke to come to the supply room. Andy knows she's asking for help and rescues her. She hugs him to thank him and thinks he's like her knight in shining armor. They discuss how Ingrid found out about her, and she teases Andy about her. Andy claims he's not dating because his last relationship ended in a heartbreak. This is why he was happy to escape to Antarctica for a while. He asks for her story, so she admits that she mostly goes on dates that don't count. The next morning, Andy asks her to come out and look at the view of Antarctica. He offers to help with her dad, but Emma doesn't want to impose on him longer. She plans to get out with the expedition group, but finds Ingrid and Martin there. She hides her face and reminds Gloria that she found her bracelet. She walks next to Gloria and asks for the story behind it. Gloria helps her walk past the crew while telling her a story about her grandma traveling as a stowaway. Emma hugs Peg at the base and asks her to keep a low profile about her. She admits what she did to get there. Peg hasn't heard from Ian yet, and even the GPS he was wearing was found in his cabin. Peg didn't know about his chest pain and doesn't understand why Ian always goes off on his own. She promises to keep Emma's secret and asks her not to mention the chest pain to anyone either. Since Ian's cabin is far away, Peg gives her access to a snowmobile and a satellite phone. Andy insists he needs to go with her because the path is dangerous and she has never been around. He's in Antarctica for 6 months and knows taking a detour for a while won't hurt him. Ingrid asks Martin for leads on Emma and decides to check out the base for information. Emma and Andy arrived at Ian's cabin and found that he was working on something. They decide to look outside, and this is when Andy spots Ian. Emma runs to him and asks why he needs help. Ian assures her that he's fine. On the call, he was asking for help for a penguin. He takes them to the penguins and points towards Lola. She is stuck on a piece of ice after it broke off and separated her from her mate Hugo. She can't swim back to the shore because of the dangerous whales. Ian has been trying to find a way to navigate through the broken ice, but he's not an engineer. When they hear Lola and Hugo calling out to each other, Emma knows they need to save her. Emma asks for Andy's help as an engineer. He thinks he can come up with something, but wants to plan it all at the base. He also promises to set up Ian's feed so he can access it from anywhere. They get back to the base and meet Peg, but Ingrid shows up. Andy asks Emma to hide behind Ian while he confronts Ingrid. She asks him about the stowaway and offers to let him use his room on the ship for the 2 more days. The ship will be back in 2 weeks, and she makes Andy feel welcome. Over a meal, Ian discusses how close he is to all the penguins. He remembers the dance Lola and Hugo did when they first met. Andy decides to start working on a plan while Emma stays back with Ian. She teases him about Peg, and Ian admits she has been keeping him in line. He asks Emma if she's illustrating anything outside the courtroom. He also asks about Andy, since he's helping them a lot. Emma thinks he and Ingrid are a better match because their work is similar. Ian reminds her that her mother was a homebody while he was obsessed with penguins. He knows Emma will make it work when she finds her person. Andy draws the iceberg underwater for Emma to explain their problem. He knows that they need some sort of device that can attach to the iceberg in the center underwater and pull it to the shore. Emma understands what he's trying to say and draws the device he's envisioning. He looks at her other illustrations of penguins and thinks she's very talented. Emma admits she wants to draw Lola's love story and hopes it has a happy ending. They stop to watch the southern lights, and he asks if she has given up on dating. She reminds him that he gave up and teases him about Ingrid again. Andy believes Martin is a better match for her, which makes Emma happy. Andy makes the device and takes Emma on a boat to test it out. He keeps checking on the remote, but the drill is not sticking to the ice. Ingrid tries to look for Andy in his room and gets suspicious when she finds Emma's uniform there. Ian suggests that Andy could go for a polar plunge in the spa nearby to refresh his mind for ideas. Emma thinks it's a great idea and agrees to do it with him. Martin and Ingrid find them getting out of the spa, and Ingrid now knows how she sneaked inside. After the cold plunge, Andy knows a heated drill bit will do the trick for them. They're about to kiss, but someone from the team interrupts them. They get to work on the new model and decide to hand it over to her dad. Peg has received a distress signal from Ian, but the emergency crew isn't risking checking him out in the storm. Andy and Emma decide to find him on the snowmobile, but are forced to make a stop in the middle because of the storm. They eventually find Ian, who has injured his leg but is more worried about Lola running out of time. When they get him tested, Peg assures them that his chest pains were only because of indigestion. Emma doesn't let Ian walk on his injured leg and promises to save Lola with Andy. Ingrid finds them and takes Emma inside for an interrogation. Ingrid knows Andy helped her and is planning to act against him too. Emma starts crying and assures Ingrid that Andy only helped her because he has a big heart. She informs her about Lola's situation and begs her to let Andy go. When Ingrid steps out, Emma hears Martin interrogating Andy. He admits that he let her in and takes responsibility for it. Martin asks him to understand that he won't be allowed any polar expeditions because of it. Ingrid comes back and asks Emma to save the penguin. Emma runs to get Andy, and Ingrid allows Martin to let him go. Ingrid thinks they can bend the rules for a good cause, so Martin finally admits that he's interested in her. Andy and Emma get to work to attach the device to the iceberg. It finally works, and Emma manages to get Lola back to Hugo in no time. They realize that Hugo was keeping their egg warm all this time for Lola. When Andy is about to kiss her, Ian calls, and she shares the big news. They all toast to the penguins, and Emma thanks Ingrid for helping out. Emma has decided to get back to the ship with Ingrid and the crew, and not cause any more problems. She meets Andy before leaving, and admits that she will miss him. Andy admits that he has feelings for her, so she kisses him to assure him that it's mutual. 4 months later, while Emma is drawing the penguins with Andy, he gets a call about Ian getting medical clearance to come back. They have even named Lola and Hugo's kid after Ian.